On this edition of The Dialogue, we're celebrating all things food. What's better than one Michelin-starred chef? 2. Chef Nobu became famous for adding Peruvian ingredients to traditional Japanese dishes, while Chef Jean-Georges made his name through Thai-inspired French cuisine. 75-year-old Japanese Chef Nobu is a rock star as crowds flock to his namesake restaurants all over the globe. And world-renowned French chef Jean-Georges added his trademark flair to casual dining by introducing new flavors to the American palate in the 1990s.
Hello, I'm Chef Nobu. I'm still cooking the whole my life.
Hello, I'm Chef Jean-Georges, cooking for 52 years now.
With more than 100 global restaurants between them, Chef Nobu and Chef Jean-Georges are masters of fusion cuisine and have turned their names into international brands. Hello, chefs. How lucky am I to meet two of the most famous chefs in the world?
It's an honor to have Nobu at Curiosa.
What are we preparing today, gentlemen? Chef Nobu, it's nice to see you again. We met last year to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Nobu restaurant. Now, all over the world, the Nobu brand is a hotspot for celebrities and food lovers alike. How incredible is it for you that in many parts of the world, a restaurant with your name on it is the it place to be?
I very much proud myself because Nobu is my first name. Nobu started like a kind of like a papa mama restaurant. You know, it is small. Now it's inspired to all over the world. My dream was chefs, and I tried it, not success, but learn from that mistake. You know, it's still like I step by step, one by one, and you know, now it's over 7 years old now, and I feel like I did it. You know, and every restaurants feel like my kids there. You know, I'm the father.
You've said that you always felt you were destined to be a chef. Why do you think this was your calling?
My father passed away when I was kids. So always my mother and my grandmother. So every morning, and my mother and the grandmother sit in the kitchen, make the breakfast for the family. So slice, like use the cutting board sounds, so make the miso soup, so smell. Education is very important to I'm doing right now because everything from my grandmother, mother.
Now, sushi making is an art form, but a trip to Peru changed your whole philosophy around the practice of that. You even opened your first restaurant there. How do you think that experience changed the way you were perceived as being a traditional Japanese chef?
Well, I started traditional Japanese styles, and especially sushi, you know, but if I stay in Japan, never like here now, because, you know, went to the Peru, so see, Peru is a different cultures, complete, and food and lifestyles, you know, it's everything that different. Try the seafood dishes, especially the ceviches. You know, Japan, the French fish, eat a slice, soy sauce, and the wasabi. So Peru, it's the same fish. It's like with the lemon juice, chili, cilantro, garlic, onion. After I tried this, it's like my open eye myself. Wow! So it means like same fish can make the different way.
Chef Nobu, you've got 60 restaurants all over the world. The Nobu brand is internationally known. What's the legacy you want to leave for aspiring chefs or entrepreneurs?
Don't afraid about the mistake. Try to challenge, not a success, but without the challenge, never go to the next step. Don't give up. Always with passions.
Chef Nobu was in town along with another famous chef, Jean-Georges van Geristen, to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the iconic Four Seasons Doha. And what better place to meet than the kitchen? Chef Jean-Georges, you kind of just stumbled into the kitchen. School wasn't for you. In fact, you were even nicknamed Jojo the Terror. But then everything changed one day when your parents took you to a 3-star Michelin restaurant to celebrate your 16th birthday. What happened that day that would change the rest of your life?
I went to an engineer school that my parents sent me to, and I hated every minute of it. I didn't know you could do a living out of food. You know, for me, food was at home. a pot in the middle of the table and people just serve themselves and enjoy, and family style. On going to a restaurant of this caliber, seeing the ballet of the service, looking at the plate of the food, the utensil, the glassware, I was like, oh my God, this is a dream. It was a big eye-opener. Yeah. My father saw that. He said, on the end of the meal, the chef comes to the table. My son is good for nothing. If you need somebody to wash dishes, it looks like he has an interest. On a couple of weeks after, I was in the kitchen running around and tried to help everybody. On a couple of months after I got the job. It was a life changer.
You clearly found your path. That was surprisingly the beginning of an incredible career. You worked with a host of renowned French chefs. Then you moved to Thailand and then ultimately settled in the US, where you opened your first restaurant in New York. Tell us about that journey.
I mean, the journey was, I was lucky to start in a 3-star Michelin with Paul Lebanon, so he teach me everything. So arriving in Thailand in 1980, I never heard about coconut milk, lemongrass, ginger, chilies, galangal, all the spices, curry. I was like, oh my God, this is like a whole new world of, going to the market and see different things. I'm like absorbing like a sponge, and I was only 23 at the time. And I decided to use my, my traditional background, French cooking and home cooking, and try to incorporate a little bit of those spices. And I felt what a better place in New York to really introduce this cuisine of French / Southeast Asia / So I realized that traveling was my inspiration. I feel the role of a chef is really to
Experiment?
Yeah, you put a little licorice on top of chicken. It's a new chicken. Transform it to something that people never tasted before.
Now we're sitting in Curiosa, one of your 62 restaurants worldwide. What's next for you? What do you still have to accomplish?
Cooking for 52 years now, and there's more things I haven't seen yet. Like coming to Doha, I go out, I see a little bit of what's going on here. I go to the date market, I come back with some spices I never saw. And I come back with like 20 new ideas as well. I can learn more. I like to follow Nobu's path, maybe do some hotels, some residences. I enjoy lifestyle as well in this business. I'm involved in every design, plates, silverware, glassware, the comfort, the lighting. I'm crazy about lighting, and lighting has to be so perfect. And now I'm into JG lifestyle.
So you tried it all, but you clearly found your calling.
Food is my life.
Thanks so much for your time, Chef Jean-Georges.
Thank you so much. It was
Thank you for joining us on the Dialogue.
pleasure sharing some thoughts.
Despite their incredible success stories, these two chefs are still happy to learn, even after almost half a century spent in the culinary trade. We'll see you next time on The Dialogue.